All right, welcome back, everyone. This is CCB Fozzie, joined once again by Apothony, and we are bringing you the next match in the 12th Alliance tournament. This is Cynosural Field Theory versus CAStabouts, and apparently today is Throwback Day because we are seeing another Dominic's team from Cynosural Field Theory. They have brought triple Dominics in Neros, Hyena, triple Ishkur, Malediction, triple Tristan, and came in at fairly long range, sent the Dommies in 30, the rest of the team in at 50. And why don't you tell us a little bit about this CAStabouts team, Apothony?
So the CAStabouts team have something that we've seen quite a lot this Alliance tournament. We've got triple Gila, really popular, with two Rattlesnakes as well, so very top-heavy team points-wise with a Simi for Logi. We've got a Corax, typically used to support a Logistics. Then we have two Merlins, a Kestrel, and a Slasher, so a nice round of T1 Frigs to finish them off.
So the match has now begun. The teams came in from pretty much opposite beacons, so they're quite a ways away from each other, and there are no drones dropped from the Cynosural Field Theory Dommies yet. It looks, there they go, they're coming in now, and it looks like we got Bouncers.
Yeah,
Curators.
long range.
So yeah, they're going to be trying to do some sniping, probably going to try to knock out that Scimitar, but we'll see how well they do. We're seeing fire already into one of the Dommies of Tinkerhell, the captain for Cynosural Field Theory.
Yeah, the Gila of Lara actually burning straight in the enemy team around the back slightly. Looks like we've got a lot of armor maintenance spots out for the Cyno team, same as they did last time. They really like having a super strong tank. Looks like the DPS, as you say, is being applied to Tinkerhell. Let's see whether or not he can tank. The armor bot's moving over now.
He's going into half armor. He's dropping pretty quickly, and there's no significant damage on the CAStabouts team yet. That suggests to me that they're aiming those drones at something that they can't track. Whatever it is, they're not hitting it, whether it's they're trying to go after one of the Gilas or Merlins. Those are what we're seeing. It looks like we're seeing some damage on the Merlin. Not a great choice to send your sentries after a Merlin early, if that's what's hitting
Tinker's
them.
going.
He is going down fast, and that is going to be a huge blow to Cynosural Field Theory. One of their three Dominixes, again, those are 20 points each. These are super expensive ships for a tournament.
And their team captain as well.
Yeah, and he is now off the field, and it looks like CAStabouts is just saying, screw the rest of this team. We're going to go take the Dominixes down right off the field, and it obviously worked for the first one. Dominixes, of course, with Tech 1 tanks, a lot of buffer, but they don't rep as well as some of the other ships, like an Ishkur would, so it is not enough. They are not getting enough reps in from that De Niro's to keep them alive.
Yeah, I mean, CAStabouts now, their frigates are starting to take a little bit of damage, but they're just flying really well. They're staying at max range, really mitigating any incoming DPS, while they just slug away at those Dommies that just can't do that.
Yeah, I mean, these drones are just not tracking from the Dommies. I'm going to try to get a good look at exactly what they're doing. It looks like they may have abandoned them and switched to something else for at least some of them, but it's not doing the job. Whatever it is, Cynosural Field Theory has already lost two of the Dominics. The third is about to follow, and CAStabouts has yet to lose a ship.
There are so many rep drones that aren't repping this Dommy. There's like 15 medium and lights that just aren't on Meglar's Dommy. They're having a lot of trouble managing both their offensive and disoffensive drones, and it's really screwing them up here.
Yep. The big groups of them, they're just kind of following around. Like, they will say they have one group following an Ishkur and not keeping up with the Ishkur. I don't know exactly what they're trying to do there, but that is going to be their third Dommy exploding on your screen. And that's all the DPS almost. They have three Ishkurs and a Malediction, some Tristans, which are probably just fit with armor maintenance bots. There's nothing they can really do at this point, the CAStabouts team. This is an incredibly confident performance from CAStabouts. Often you come up against a team like this and you're going to try to be careful. Let's see if we can knock down the Aneros first, pick off some frigates. But what they just decided to do was go in and punch those Dominixes in the face, and it paid off perfectly in this case.
I mean, these are two teams that are probably going to see a lot of each other on Tranquility. They probably have a relationship between the two corps. I mean, CAStabouts is typically PvP in Syndicate. You've got Nocturnal Romance, right next door in Placid, with their supers and carriers and all that good stuff. So they probably run to each other on Tranquility. The pilots probably know each other. So it's very interesting to see how two teams that may fight against each other and have different records on Tranquility come to the AT and see how they do against each other here.
And CAStabouts, of course, is a team that has impressed us in the past in tournaments with the 8-cast team that they have brought in previous Neos. This is a pretty strong showing. This is definitely them staking the claim to be a team that you don't want to run into in this losers bracket, because they're already just knocking off Cynosural Field Theory without looking like they're breaking a sweat.
I have to say, I'm really glad they decided to give up on the let's bring only 6 pilots, as we saw in the last round, that really cost them a match. Here, they've got a really well thought out setup, a lot of damage. They've got a lot of strong support. You can make a lot of decisions with that setup. Whereas with a setup like Dommies, as we said, when you bring Dommies, you're committing to just kind of sitting there and trying to tank.
Yep.
You can't really do much beyond that. Your choices are in that of your drones and on where you play your newts if they come within newt range.
Well, it's kind of funny. You mentioned CAStabouts not bringing a 6-player team like they did last time, but they actually didn't have the option to bring that because Cynosural Field Theory went with a very targeted ban. CAStabouts last time brought what is really the only legitimate reason to have only 6 pilots, which is you're flying a Tinker. And they ran a Tinker with the Tengu logistics, and we saw now Cynosural Field Theory has decided to ban out shield tinkers as completely as you can. You ban the Tengu and Loki, that means you don't want to face a shield tinker. And they obviously didn't want. I can see why they didn't want to face that with Dominic's, but CAStabouts came in here with super high DPS rattlesnakes and Gilas and just cleared the field with them. And that is the match. With only taking like less than half of the time allotted to them, CAStabouts has entirely destroyed the Cynosural Field Theory team.
Nocturnal are not going to be happy with that at all.
And with that means CAStabouts moves forward through the losers bracket and will live to fight another day. And we'll be back after some ads in just a moment for Unthinkables versus the Devil's Warriors Alliance.
See you in a bit.
Hey guys, welcome back. I am CCB Rise here with Elise Randolph, and we now have CAStabouts versus Clockwork Pineapple. Some exciting stuff going on here. We have a flagship in this match. Tell us a little about what's on the field.
Yep, you guys didn't want too many drones, so CAStabouts and Clockwork Pineapple kind of obliged. CAStabouts did bring some Vexers and Ishkurs, but they also have a Vindy and a Geddon on the beacon at 0. And a few incursuses for tackle, so this is going to be good. Meanwhile, Clockwork Pineapple brought even more blasters. They brought their flagship Geddon, 3 Astartes, some Heretics for anti-tackle, Crewer for tackle, just a single Griffin, because why not, and a Kestrel.
Should mention, it could be Rails. That looks like blasters, though.
Yeah, I think they're in-your-face Astartes, which is even cooler.
Yeah, absolutely.
The interesting thing is both these teams, I mean, CAStabouts brought their battleships to the beacon at 0, as you can see, but the other teams brought their support in at 50, but because the angle they chose, they're right next to each other. Like, they did not really expect to be this close to each other, as we see this Vindicator just charging balls outrageous.
And you can see neutralizers from the flagship Clockwork Pineapple Geddon heading over to both battleships on the CAStabout side, and those damps doing work as well, coming out of, I don't even know what the start is, I guess. There's not a lot of room for
the Ishkurs
Kestrels, I guess, Kestrels too, but... Yeah. So far, it looks like flagship Geddon is going to get its tank tested, but I imagine he'll be all right. We'll see how far away that Oneros is since it's under damp pressure, and some Frigs starting to take a lot of damage. Clockwork going for the support on the CAStabout side. Yeah,
that's an interesting call by them. Both teams actually have a fair amount of control. Clockwork has it in the form of newts, it seems. Newts and damps. CAStabouts, they have newts, but they're not as good as the Clockwork Pineapple newts because Clockwork Pineapple have their flagship Geddon. And right now, he's just focusing on that Vindy. He wants that Vindy to have no cap whatsoever. And they're just slowly but surely chewing through these incursuses. You didn't really... I mean, these Astartes, of course, will dunk these incursuses through reps and everything, but you would assume this Vindicator would be able to do stuff once it gets a web on someone. It's got a web maybe on the Onerios right now.
Yeah, it could be. I'm trying to figure that out.
Yeah, it looks like a super web on that Onerios.
It looks so, and there's... a lot of other ships there too. It took quite a while, but those Ashimus did finally close and get their neutralizers going on the Oneros. I don't know. So far, really nothing too important breaking. Both sides losing a little bit of Frig support. Looks like CAStabouts just having a hard time getting their damage anywhere. See if they can take down this Oneros. That would, of course, be a really big kill. And now some damage starting to go towards CAStabouts onto some of their cruisers. Still anyone's match right now.
Yeah, CAStabouts making absolutely the right call, going for this Clockwork Pineapple Oneros. The longer this match goes on, the worse CAStabouts will be in, or worse position CAStabouts will be in because of these newts. In a long drawn-out match, these newts really, really are bad for you. But CAStabouts, I mean, they're doing it. They're doing it. They're killing this Oneros. He's entering structure. He's about to die. He's gone. Now they can kill pretty much anything on the field that they get close to. And all this Vindicator has to do is hope he's got cap charges. But at the same time, CAStabouts lost their Oneros too. So okay.
Wow, went down so fast.
Yeah,
or was I not paying attention?
I think we just were kind of snoozing at the wheel here.
That actually, no, yeah. I thought maybe boundary violation. Actually, I just wanted to check, but no, he just went down really quick. Astartes must have just caught up to him. Wish I could go back and look. Vexor going down for CAStabouts now without, of course, both sides now without logistics should start losing stuff a lot faster. There's Astarte on the Clockwork Pineapple side going down pretty quick. I wonder why they were shooting at the Clockwork Pineapple Geddon originally and why they decided to switch. Maybe just a range thing, but
yeah, it was probably
definitely a
just
good
to
choice
see
for them.
that maybe they could like get a really good shots in on him with the logi being damped, but the logi was able to rep him. Right now, they're just slugging it out right now, and Astarte is dying for CAStabouts, but a Vexor went down for CAStabouts. They have some tackle left alive of these Ishkers, but the Ishkers are now kind of tackled. It's a bloodbath out here.
It's still pretty close right now, but it has to be a really good sign for Clockwork Pineapple that their flagship Geddon has newts on both battleships on the CAStabout side, but you don't see any neutralizers. Just now, neutralizers getting active on an Astarte on the Clockwork Pineapple side, but it seems like the flagship Geddon is kind of winning this cap war at the moment, and that's of course really good news for them.
Yeah, the Clockwork damps are actually being incredibly effective. These this Vindicator and Geddon, they're not be able to do that much or as much as they want to do.
Another Vexor down on CAStabout side. Losing damage hurts them a lot. I mean, they still have the Vindy, but the Vindy is a ship that really gets abused by having his cap.
Yeah, you can kite the Vindy.
On it.
You can kite the Vindy and the Geddon to some extent. The Geddon's got drones, but
saying that though, Vindy is now closed on this Astarte, and he's going down pretty fast now. The Vindy and the Geddon are both right there on top of him. See how far they have to go to get to that third Astarte. Yeah,
Clockwork's not making the best of trades. They traded an Astarte for half of an Ashimu. Probably want to step up their game a little bit.
The last Clockwork Pineapple Astarte is actually basically just bailed. He's like, he's really far away. Those do look like rails actually, now that I look at it, so maybe that's why. But he's quite a ways off, so it's going to take a little time for this Vindy and Geddon to get caught up to him. But if those...
Yeah, this is a loser's bracket.
Find out if they're rails for sure.
But they are battling for the pride of Syndicate. Both these teams live in Syndicate. And it looks like, man, I don't know, this Clockwork is going after this Vindicator, I guess. Trying to test its tank.
I mean, they're also like kind of shooting both Ashimus. It's funny, people, well, I guess it's not as relevant for this match, but we've had like several matches now where there's like the match is spread all over the field and there's kind of mini fights going on all over the place. You see Heretics taking damage too. They lost one already. We might have missed that, but actually it'll be really important as well if they can get these Kestrels down. That'll take a lot of the damp pressure.
Yeah, these Iskers are actually these Iskers are just kind of going out to these Kestrels and this Heretic and just murdering the support wing.
Wow, yeah,
Heretics down, Kestrel down. There's only one Kestrel left.
Nice job by the Ishkers there. CAStabout's looking pretty strong right now. They went, like, it seemed like just a minute ago they kind of looked like they were in control, but things fell apart really quick.
These Ishkers are doing a real good work, and Clockwork kind of just didn't really pay much attention to them. At the end of the match is when like your tackle frigates and your tackle wing is really crucial. Clockwork are losing their final Astarte. It's going to be down pretty soon.
Lost an Ashimu though.
They did trade it for an Ashimu, but I mean, when you only have 2 DPS ships, trading it for an Ashimu, probably not what you want.
No, definitely not. It's a really interesting match. The Ashimus is kind of a new thing. We haven't seen tons of those, maybe one here and there, but just so much cap war on this CAStabout side. It almost seems like their plan is kind of use cap war to clear a way for the Vindicator to just run around and kill everything. It's strange how it looked like it wasn't working, how the damps were kind of punishing them too much, and then suddenly they flipped things around. There goes the last Astarte. So now basically just that flagship Geddon left on the Clockwork Pineapple side, and I assume they'll have no problem taking him out.
CAStabouts are going to do it. They get to plant their flag in the only named solar system in Syndicate. And yeah, this Geddon, I mean, they're going to have to catch up to him. They're going to have to use injectors and stuff. Maybe the Vindicator's going to look for some cap charges in some of these wrecks. But he's eventually going to die. We've got 3 minutes. Like, he can't run forever.
Yeah, he definitely will. If you're not familiar with the flagship rules, you guys are just tuning in, we have a lot of restrictions about which modules are actually allowed in the tournament. For the most part, just Tech 2, up to Tech 2 when it comes to meta like level on the ships. In this tournament, you can have one flagship, which can fit a whole range of much more powerful modules, officer modules and faction modules. But if you lose that ship, you cannot bring another one. So that doesn't matter for most of these teams because it is a loser's bracket match. So the team actually just goes out anyway, dropping jet cans for some reason. Yeah,
well, they got to make space for the loot.
Yeah,
because this can might have some shiny loot in it. Another cool thing about the flagship is you can circumvent bans with it. So if they if CAStabouts had banned out the Geddon, Clockwork could be like, YOLO, I'm bringing my Geddon anyway. But not anymore. They're not going to bring anything ever again until next year.
And then they just have to go and catch up with this Kestrel, and that will, yeah, be a win for them. Really nice job. It's fun to see the Vindicator win. It's also, yeah, I was going to say earlier, like, the anti-drone thing is funny. I feel like people, you know, they really like the idea of guns, but the drone matches are actually really interesting, especially as we moved away from sentries and this year have a lot more of the mobile drones. It seems like the match, like the field has just opened up a lot more rather than everybody crashing into each other early on. There's a lot of strategy and how the team spreads out. And exactly, and I think that's actually
is very important.
Really fun to watch, even though it doesn't maybe feel quite as nice as like autocannons all the time does.
Yeah.
Not that I don't hate drones. I do hate drones, but I just, you know, it's been a nice thing that's developed out of the drone meta in the tournament.
Yeah, there's a little bit of hatred. So, just waiting for Duckslayer to finally die. He's probably just he's way off on his own. CAStabouts are just kind of taking this time to loot the field, make sure nothing really good dropped.
Can take the opportunity also to let you guys know, if you didn't tune in for the last 2 weekends, this is the 3rd weekend of 4, by the way, and one other kind of new rule thing we have going on this year for the first time is we have micro jump drive beacons placed in a cube in the arena. So we've had a lot of funny boundary violations already as people try to move themselves across and get aligned a little incorrectly.
I am personally grateful for the micro jump beacons because they did save PL in their last match.
They're really cool. But anyway, match is over. Congratulations, CAStabouts. We'll go back to the studio and see you guys in a minute.
You want to stay up to date on the market? You spend
themselves. I see a Proteus, a Bellicose. Okay, that doesn't seem like a turtle team.
Hey, I thought you couldn't scan.
But we're involved in the arena.
Awesome.
Sweet, believe him.
You guys are so going to win this.
I recommend you removing tournament beacons from the overview, because that is just so much and will probably cause some confusion.
Missile types.
What's their logi? Oneros. Let's load Nova Precision, or Nova Faction for the Scorpions.
Got it.
And we're using all range scripts. We have one Damper, one Celestis.
They do have some T2 Amara though, so we'll need to switch away from the Nova at some point.
How many Proteuses do they have?
2.
So I think we'll go Oneros and then small stuff.
Oh, we don't have a problem with the curse.
Oh, one curse should not at all be able to apply enough cap pressure.
Remember, Wally is the first person to lock and get the transfer going.
So we're
Remember
gonna...
to not move at your top speed.
We're gonna primary the Oneros, and after that, we're gonna go through the small ships and Celestises. So the Oneros will be primary and get these small ships and
Match
Celestises
starting in
locked
15
up.
seconds. Everyone activate your defensive module so that you're not getting surprised. 5 seconds. Everyone go, go, go. Answers to volley. One orbit volley.
Orbit Wally, cap transfer on Wally, and the Oneros is primary.
Hello, move.
Then get the small ships locked up.
Hello, move. We need to orbit. Don't sit still. Need to have the cap transfer up as quickly as possible. Yellow, come here. Wally, approach yellow. If it isn't moon, you're also not approaching.
Is on orbit. It's not moving.
All damage and paint on the Oneros. All damage and paint on the Oneros. Secondary, let's go Bellicose.
Looks like yellow's being front.
Okay, guys, get your drones back in and run smart bombs.
The Vulture has the smart bombs.
I don't have any.
Vulture has the smart bombs.
All good, all good.
Yellow's in reload.
Okay, smart drones off. Smart bombing.
Let us know when the Scorps are reloaded. We'll overheat on the Oneros.
Bombs begin, running smart bombs again.
Moon's related. 3. Oneros.
Overload on the Oneros.
Overloading. Oh, that looks good.
The Bellicose is secondary.
Okay, turn off your overheat.
Bellicose primary. Bellicose Bellicose primary. Make sure you're managing your heat. Bellicose is primary. And the secondary will be Celestis.
They're shooting the Tengu now.
Do you want us to put rep drones on the Tengu?
Rep drones on the Tengu. Rep drones on the Tengu. The Bellicose is primary. The Celestis plug is secondary.
Don't do any overheating at this point. We should be fine.
Yeah, I don't think we need heat on the missiles at this point.
Oh god, don't panic.
And reload.
Reloading.
The Celestis will be the secondary. Celestis primary.
Okay, all drones back in.
Celestis primary, and let's do Sweeple secondary.
Running smart bombs.
Yellow, just fire when you reload because there's no logistics.
Firing. Yeah, I got it. Reload.
Celestis is primary, Sweeple
Okay,
secondary.
drones are gone.
Okay, can get rep drones back on Finn. And the Sweeple will be our next primary.
That's white net.
Sweeple primary. White net glint Sweeple primary. Paint
Secondary?
him up. Secondary will be Kruger. Kruger primary, Kruger primary. Kruger primary and Enyo secondary.
Moon's in reload.
Yellow's in reload.
There are no ECM drones anymore. We don't need to smart bomb those.
Enyo primary.
Paint.
Enyo primary and KEN Proteus secondary. KEN Proteus secondary.
Are you just leaving the curse up just this in spite?
Actually, let's take the curse next, because even without switching, we should be able to get him with no logi. So curse secondary. Curse is secondary. The RYS curse secondary. RYS curse secondary.
How are the Ravens on cap booster?
RYS curse primary.
Out of reload. Firing on curse.
Still got
Singer. Reload worked for me.
Looks like the curse is pretty squishy.
And the secondary will be Holy Proteus. HOL Proteus secondary. HOL Proteus secondary.
Roger.
HOL Proteus primary. HOL Proteus primary.
Painted.
Secondary is the other Proteus. KEN Proteus secondary.
And everyone remember to get your rep drones out again. They didn't got smart bombs or primary off the field.
Yeah, my last rep drone just died.
And reload.
Secondary is KEN Proteus. And then we'll save money on missiles by not shooting the damnation.
Roger.
Actually, we'll switch to thermal missiles for the damnation, as the damnation is tertiary, though. KEN Proteus primary.
How's everybody doing on cap charge?
Doing good.
They'll be
Yeah,
done
is that a
soon,
reload?
I think.
Just right
Pro-
through my.
But that should be good. I mean, damnation can't really hurt us.
Yeah, after the Proteus, we switched to thermal missiles for the damage. And if anything's close enough to you to loot it, but do not break away from the cap and rep chain.
Hey, Tabby.
Okay, switch to thermal.
Turtles win. Turtles win.
Turtle team's best teams.
Yellow's in reload.
It's okay, we're gonna be here a while. Anybody?
Okay, can I have someone jettison cap charges? I'm out.
Yeah, Vic's out.
Thank you, grabbing.
I'm going to turn off cap transfer because I'm out of charges.
There's a can out with charges.
Grab the can next to our tengu.
And yellow is at a reload.
I think I'll burn out my launchers for tradition's sake.
1 minute left.
Well, we have 1 minute, so we're probably not getting the damnation anywhere. Everyone, burn out the launchers now.
If you got heat, use it.
On it.
Everyone but Wally.
That one's definitely for CAS. Nice job, guys.
Awesome job.
Reloading.
Great job, everybody.
Congrats, guys.
5 seconds. Okay, everyone stop shooting. Match is over.
That is my launcher. Yay.
Thanks for scaring.
Nice work.
You trying to loot?
Yeah,
Sure,
if you can
can
scoop
wander
any loot, grab it.
somewhere.
Well done, guys.
Great job. Good job.
Great execution. All of you.
Oh, you almost had the damnation.
Good fights in low.
We have 60 seconds to snowboard next to Rex. Woohoo!
Yellow's got gunbloat diplomat 3 if you guys want to hit the other one.
Add your the beacons, the warp macro jump beacons, back to your overview if you.
Yeah, sure. At the beacon so you're not missing them in case we're actually using them in a match.
Just saves you from doing it tomorrow. If you need to. And Tabby has finally achieved his goal of getting a win with the turtle team.
Great FCing. Great work. Oh, that felt good.
It's a good
Oh, you guys, that was amazing.
Yeah, the 2 Scorpion pilots could have done a little better at the beginning there. We kind of drifted away. I'm not sure what happened on my end. I thought I thought I hit orbit, but I might have missed it.
I did the same thing. I thought I hit it, and I didn't. As soon as no polar called, I caught it pretty quick. But...
Did you successfully jam any of you at any time?
Nope.
They landed no
bombs
bombs.
except for drones, I think.
Our smart bombing worked out well, except for I guess I misunderstood no polars command at one point and lost my rep drones to our smart bombs. But overall, the smart bombing worked really well.
Yeah, I think I had the same thing happen to me.
We got all the ECM drones, and they only had a couple of damaged drones, and it didn't really bother.
Hello everyone, I'm Elise Randolph, joined by Ryload. Welcome you back to Alliance 114, Day 2. This is the elimination bracket in the lower round. We've got CAStabouts versus Brothers in Arms. Brothers in Arms in blue with a pretty cool setup with a double Vargas and a bunch of bombers. And just a casual Geddon thrown in there. It's not just a casual Geddon, it's their flagship Geddon.
Ooh, a flagship game by Brothers in Arms, while CAStabouts are bringing a Galente rush setup with 2 Vindicators, Hyperion, Eos, going with the T2 Logi with 2 Deacons, Vengeance, 2 Bombers, and a Punisher. So I have a feeling this CAStabouts is going to be brawling in, and those bar guests are going to be running away.
Yeah, absolutely. And this, I guess these are armor bar guests, not something we see every day, supported by a Guardian. They also have a Brothers in Arms. Also have a Kitsune to round out their support wing. Let's see what happens. These Vindicators, they all warped in kind of far from one another, except for this. This CAStabouts Hyperion warped in at 0. He's the only one that warped in super close.
Yeah.
Everyone else is quite far. Maybe this Hyperion is hoping that the Brothers in Arms teams will think he's screwed up or something, and they all go for him.
We'll see. It looks like the CAStabouts team looks like they are just rushing in, while the Brothers in Arms line is actually just sitting there. Their bar guests are sitting at 0 MS comfortably, but they will eventually get tackled if they don't start moving in. But the CAStabouts support ships are being primaried right now, but they're getting wrapped up by those Deacons just fine, while the Brothers in Arms side are just rushing in, trying to get as much damage as possible.
It's going to be really hard for these Deacons to keep these Purifiers alive. CAStabouts did rush their Punisher forward to start screening off some ships, and it looks like CAStabouts are going to focus on either a Bargus or, again, they've caught both.
Yep. But we'll see about that in the time come, but it looks like they do have a Bargus grappled and painted on the CAStabouts side, but the Hyperion is taking quite a lot of damage, but Hyperion does get an armor rep bonus. He looks like he has a local tank, so he's going to be tanking just fine, being wrapped up by the Deacons as well. But the Bargus on the Brothers in Arms side is full brunt force of those Vindicators and Hyperion. But
Confessor just died instantly.
Confessor just got instantly volleyed, and the Kitsune as well. Kitsune down as well. Looks like Brothers in Arms are just like losing support ships. Looks like they were too close against those Vindicators. Obviously, the Vindicators saw that they were close and just like boom, headshot them.
Yeah, but these Vindicators. Ooh, okay, Brothers in Arms did a really good move. They had neuted out the Hyperion, which is probably what the Hyperion wanted. They wanted to waste all of the neuts from this flagship Geddon. Meanwhile, the Geddon really could be neuting one of the Vindicators to stop him from firing. These neuts from the Geddon are really, really powerful, and this Vindicator does need a bunch of cap to fire fully.
Yep.
Doesn't look like they're neuting him out enough, as Brothers in Arms are currently still losing their Bargus through reps, through Guardian reps even.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, Bargus aren't really the tankiest pirate battleships. They may be the Balanced Legion, but unfortunately, they're not getting balanced. They're getting balanced pretty hard here. The Bargus do actually have rapid heavies as well, so if you see any damage which is not being applied, which is now, they're probably on reload.
And this support wing from CAStabouts is doing work. They're completely dismantling the Brothers in Arms support wing. Confessor's down, Purifier's down, Kitsune down. There's only one crew left.
And the Bargus is down as well. Oh, wow. CAStabouts just played this game amazingly. They just basically, those Vindicators went in and brawled those Barguests. It looks like the Brothers in Arms didn't force their support to go in, and the Vindicators just webbed them and just blasted them with their blaster cannons.
A really, really good showing from the CAStabouts team. Warping in at 50 with a blaster setup, as the studio was talking about before. In fact, it was you that were talking about it with rush teams. A lot of the times you can play it a little bit further back, and the first team that rushes in generally is at a disadvantage.
Exactly.
And when you play it further back, you get to dictate the range a little bit more and force some separation. That's exactly what CAStabouts did in the face of overwhelming control coming from these flagship Armageddon.
Oh yeah, that flagship Armageddon is playing all of his control, but it's just not enough. These Vindicators are still shooting. Hyperion is stabilized. Eos is at range. The Deacons are being neuted, but obviously Armageddon heavy newts do have quite. Oh,
that Guardian just melted.
I don't know what happened to him. Did he like brawl in? It looks like he did.
He got caught by a Vindy, which it sounds hard to do, but
yeah. maybe he just wasn't paying attention and he just got webbed by the Vindicator and it was pretty much game over. No rep bots. Well, there is a lot of rep bots, but they're all being applied to the Geddon and they're being smart bombed as well.
Really, really great play from CAStabouts. Just destroying this Brothers in Arms team.
Yeah.
Armor Bargus, not really something you see often, and probably for good reason, but they still had a pretty good setup all in all, or pretty decent.
Yeah,
it looks like they took the Armor Bargus because they banned out the Typhoon Fleet issue themselves.
Yeah,
so they went with some sort of tricky ban play, saying, oh, we're not going to take a missile team with battleship cores. JK,
oh, wait.
we are.
But it didn't really work out for them, considering Barghest are more expensive than Tier 5s as well, and Barghest do have the scram bonus as well, so they can... I don't know. The thing is, at the start of the match, the Barghest, they just sat there. That's the problem. If they just kited away, killed the support of the CAStabouts side, maybe they could have changed it, but those Barghests just sat there. I mean, I don't know if it was a good idea to brawl with the Barghests, especially against Vindicators as well.
Yeah, well, that's it for us. CAStabouts remain in the Alliance 114. Brothers in Arms, unfortunately, are out, and we will send it back to the studio.
Brought a very tanky version of a Shield Rush comp with a lot of up-tank ships, a Cerberus, a Nighthawk, a Cyclone Fleet issue, but not as much ham damage as you typically expect from this type of setup with really only 4 ham ships.
Yeah, and I think unfortunately for them, they're about to run into a big wall of hit points with a double Abaddon Vindicator core supported by some light tackle here. This is going to be dicey for CAStabouts.
Yeah, those 90% webs on the Vindicator can be very dicey to deal with, but you also have to remember the Nighthawk and the Loki both push over 1,000 DPS with heat, and one of them is not damage locked. So as we see the start, this is actually going to be a wraparound play from the side of CAStabouts. They're going to try to dodge this Magus trying to burst in towards the rest of their team right now. The Mauler of Complexity and Teleri is actually currently the primary target from CAStabouts as they try to get away from this Vindicator for the time being.
Meanwhile, nobody told the Hawk, which just ran in straight away. He is not paying the price for it, though. Actually, in fact, the Magus from Hisec Miners, just got melted. Absolutely melted.
Absolutely
That's
melting.
links down.
So what's happening right now is CAStabouts are going straight for the support wing. Typically in a Shield Rush setup, you go from trying to get the highest DPS per EHP off the field as quickly as possible, especially in a Shield Rush mirror match. This time around, they want to get the links off the table in order to get the Vindicator webs down to a normal range, because Vindicator doesn't have range bonuses on the webs, but does have the strength bonuses. And we see here the Fleet Cyclone of Red House going down very quickly. This is an effective ship to take down and the least tanky ship from CAStabouts. Under these Vindicator webs, he is not long for the world with all the damage that blasters plus the pulse lasers of these Abbas gives towards them.
Yeah, I think this is CAStabouts playing for the late game, prioritizing the links here. Now they're going after the logistics of the Thalia Deacon. They're trying to clip the support wing to isolate these battleships. It's making them more controllable, reducing the range of the Vindicator, as you said, Fear, but also reducing their mobility, reducing the things that can tackle for them, reducing reps that will come into those bonus to bat and resist hulls. They're really playing to just chip away all the support and slowly chop down this team, and they're methodically doing so, mowing down the support wing of Hisec Miners.
And interestingly, Jay Umbrell is currently getting damage from these Abbas. They do have relatively high production just because of the way the pulses work. But at the same time, he's able to actually shrug this off fairly effectively because he's got Tech 2 Mimitar resists and actually has quite a bit of EM and thermal resistances right now. So while the rest of his team is deleting the control in the low end from the side of Hisec Miners, he's just taking this damage right now while the rest of his team has decided to take down this Arbitrator, probably going to hold on the smaller right now and then move on to this Vindicator, who is now all on his own with no actual support wing to help him out.
In fact, the Hawk has pinned down the Vindicator, who has counter-webbed him, but they're still not able to track, actually. The Hawk being kept up very comfortably just by a set of light shield bots.
Yeah, and obviously the Tech 2 medium or Tech 2 large reppers from the Scimitar as well do a lot of range. You have the Scimitar as well. He's got the projection. He's got the speed to basically kite this out. This is actually a really good adaptation from CAStabouts to start this match off. I think something that a lot of people expect when you see a shield rush is to just go straight in and then try to take the big things out of the picture. But we see from CAStabouts, they're starting with the low end, they're working their way back up. They finally have taken down the Mauler, and they can actually win the score of attrition because they're faster and there's no actual ability for anyone from the side of Hisec miners to catch anyone from CAStabouts because all their ships are really, really slow. So even though you have 90% webs, it's just not going to be enough. That said, they're all piling on to this Vindicator now as he is not going to be very long for the world under the pressure of 3 ham boats.
Yeah, absolute MVP plays from Ian Wakefield, the Hawk pilot on CAStabouts. He fearlessly charged in while the rest of his team was trying to kite around. He beelined for that Vindicator, got onto him with the scram, and has stayed under his guns, keeping him pinned and immobile for this entire match, making it relatively trivial for CAStabouts to maneuver around that sphere of death that the 90% Vindicator webs usually entails. But that Hawk has no problems. He is bonused kinetic thermal, so he will take very little damage from the blasters of the Vindicator, and he's just been parked there, keeping him, like I said, perfectly immobile, barely taking any damage. And that Vindy has just played a non-factor in this match, despite being arguably a linchpin of the Hisec miner setup, a pin that is about to be pulled as his structure goes down.
This is just really, really well played from CAStabouts. I can't say it enough. The difference between good execution on a shield rush and bad execution on a shield rush that still wins is the ability to tell when to actually pull the trigger. I think a lot of teams, when they see a shield rush setup or they fly a shield rush setup, they immediately think, well, we just got to go in and be as efficient with our damage as possible. But here we saw a higher level of execution where they say, okay, this ship's a linchpin, but we can take him out without of the match without taking our ships and putting them in a danger zone. And so you saw that Hawk pilot go in. Well, the Hawk, even though he's under 90% webs, has a tiny, tiny sig radius. And while he's able to keep this Vindicator down, the Abbas can't actually shoot him with their pulses because they have some not amazing tracking on those Abbas. So the Abbas went for the Scimitar, who's bonused against that EM and thermal, and he's able to survive the entire time. This Loki's able to survive the entire time. It's just beautiful play from the side of CAStabouts. Yeah, they lost a Fleet Cyclone, but in a matchup that I think a lot of times can go the way of the armor control, they saw their opportunities and they were able to capitalize on them and win this match. Going to be 100-15 once this Abba goes down.
Yeah, I think also a shout out to the CAStabouts FC. Very methodical shot calling, isolating that target, as you said, and then systematically picking apart the Hisec miners comp from the most important ships to the least important ships, as they talked about on the commentary desk before this match got going, taking out the links, understanding this was going to be a long match with the big battleship hit point pools, and just then going for the logistics, then the disruption, and then finally the battleships that they had isolated and pinned down for so long. There were really non-factors here, aside from killing that Cyclone. They just left them for last because without that support, they were absolutely powerless. And that's the way this match played out as we throw it back to the desk for some analysis.
Hello and welcome to the arena. My name is Firvana, joined by Alexib Card, and on the red side of the arena, it is CAStabouts, bringing dual Megathron Navy plus a Dami Navy, lots of blasters, lots of high damage. We'll see how this looks. What have Yeet, Pray, Love brought?
Eat, Pray, Love have a very brawly drone setup with double Armageddon Navy issues, then EOS, 2 Tech 2 logistic ships, and a Sentinel for control. Very interesting matchup here. It is going to be bloody and fast.
Indeed it is. I'm just trying to double check and verify that these are in fact blasters, and it does look like that is the case here from these Megathron navies and Dominix Navy issues. I will say it's rapid heavies on the Armageddon Navy issues. This is a comp or something similar to a comp that we've seen Yeet, Pray, Love use very effectively against a lot of different setups, including Shield Rush. but they did lose last week to plug and play in this exact comp versus a Shield Rush matchup. This time they're up against something a little bit more armor centric and a little bit slower, so we'll see how that works out for them. Off the start, a little bit of damage going on to the Sentinel as they want to take the E-War off the field. Heretic also getting a bit of damage from CAStabouts as well.
Meanwhile, the Myrmidon Navy issue and the Hurricane Fleet issue drawing the majority of the aggro. It looks like they're now choosing to consolidate onto the Myrmidon Navy issue of the CAStabouts team. He's taking a withering amount of fire as he's beginning to dip into armor here, going down slowly but surely as focus fire seems to be a slight bit of a problem. They're still doing damage to the Hurricane Fleet issue, and now the drones have moved over. This Myrmidon is about to be hit with an extra wave of drones. He's currently sitting in half armor and dropping rather rapidly.
But as far as them and the Sentinel already down onto hull, the E-War trade is pretty important as you look at the control bar from the side of Yeet, Pray, Love. It's very girthy, especially compared to their attack bar, kind of a difference between the two teams. We see this Myrmidon Navy issue is all the way into 35% armor remaining, and I'd have to imagine that with the dual T1 Logi frags, it's not going to hold for much longer. As the Sentinel actually has caught reps completely from this Deacon Thalia combo, was able to burn away from the guns, and is living to win for the time being. Ivory Imp Nova will be first blood of the match, going over to Eat, Pray, Love.
Yeah, the Sentinel of Ashura Zem is surrounded by a cloud of warriors, but the logistics are keeping up despite that. As I say that, he just drops. Possibly a capacitor issue, not sure, but that is a good trade for Eat, Pray, Love. They're loving that trade right now, even as Chadwick's Armageddon does start to take a pretty worrying amount of damage.
Yeah, it's in a half armor right now. They're swapping their focus onto Jay and Burrell in the Megathron Navy issue. Now, with dual rapid heavy ships, it's not going to be very easy to actually break through the tank of heavy armor battleships. But as I say that, they're actually bursting through this armor quite effectively. This Megathron Navy issue. Remember, he doesn't have a rep bonus like the Dami Navy does, so they've got him all the way down into structure. I'm really surprised actually at how fast they were able to take down that armor with the dual rapid heavy setup.
I'll tell you what, he doesn't have any armor remaining, but what he does have is a pile of structure hit points. The way that bar is dropping, I have to assume that it's a structure tanked Megathron Navy issue.
Oh my god. And that would explain the T1 Logi as well. Yeah, this structure, it's an interesting bait. We don't typically see hull tank ships all that often in AT as the Thalia goes down from Yeet, Pray, Love. Chadwick actually now in a lot of trouble, 14% armor remaining. Yeet, Pray, Love last year's nanofiber tokens were known to up-tank their Armageddon Navy issues for setups like this. But right now, these rapid heavies, they've realized you're not actually going to be able to clip anything. And now Chadwick, he's all the way into structure. This actually could be CAStabouts winning in a major Twitch chat upset if Chadwick goes down and they're not able to trade back onto this Mega Navy.
This is a devastating turn of events for Yeet, Pray, Love. They were really hoping that Megathron was armor tanked. It's not the case. He has got an absolutely massive structure buffer, which is a feature of Galenti ships. They naturally have a lot of structure hit points. They can be fit such a way that explodes that hit points tremendously. As now Yeet, Pray, Love is dropping rapidly. Their lower end is absolutely melting now that they've lost their logistics frigates. A Heretic about to go down for 10 arrest. Meanwhile, Jay still hanging in there at like 20% structure. This Megathron Navy is tanking to win here.
Well, RIP my 190,000 channel points, by the way. I should not have gone all in here. But either way, I mean, CAStabouts really making a great showing of it. Jay Umbrell will go down, but they still have significantly more attack bar compared to the side of Yeet, Pray, Love. Now, Yeet, Pray, Love still has bonus newts on the Armageddon Navy issue. Might be able to turn off the guns of one of these ships. But, I mean, look at this attack bar. It's almost twice the size for CAStabouts right now. And right now the points say 38 to 37, but that's not telling the whole story. This EOS right now in 19% armor remaining, doesn't have any logistics frigates to keep them up. They are the Wolfpack, I should say, from Yeet, Pray, Love, going on the low end of CAStabouts right now. They're taking down this Federation Navy Comet pretty effectively. They might be able to take down this Maulus Navy issue. And now the Rapid Heavies seem to be split, or seem to be going on to this Dami Navy issue of Red House, but it also looks pretty hull tanked right now.
Yeah, the most demoralizing feature about this match for Yeet, Pray, Love right now is realizing that both the Dominic's Navy and Megathron Navy are almost certainly fit the same way as their EOS drops. This Armageddon Navy issue and Vexor Navy issue now the sole sources of DPS on the Yeet Pray Love team, and the Vexor is now drawing the lion's share of fire. As soon as that Heretic goes down, looks like he may be up next. The Arbitrator does have a drone damage bonus, but it's not probably fit up to do a ton of damage. And even if it was, it's paltry compared to the hit point bars of the Dami Navy and the Megathron Navy. The CAStabouts defense bar is still off the scale with half of their team dead.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal right now for Yeet Pray Love, especially because they have rapid heavies that can't really clip through the Dominic's Navy issue. This is one of the things with an Armageddon Navy. If you have the option to go lasers or rapid heavies, we typically see rapid heavies from a lot of different teams because they're very good at killing specific ships on the enemy team, typically battlecruiser and down. But as we see here, when you're trying to get a single rapid heavy ship versus a battleship that's hull tanked, it really hurts to have those rapid heavy reloads on the team. Siobhan, meanwhile, is Vexor Navy issue about to go down. Same thing with the pawn effects of Tyson. I will point out this Vexor Navy issue, contrary to what I think we see a lot of in the AT, with full rack of newts on it, I do believe actually has guns. So let me just double check the model again. Nope. I think he might actually be full newt. Either way, still going down pretty effectively. I mean, just look at the puny attack bar now. They still have a pretty strong control bar. I will say maybe they can get some newts out, but with only this Armageddon Navy issue available and this Arbitrator doing tracking disruption, it doesn't look like it will be enough for them. And CAStabouts pulling off a pretty big upset here up against Yeet Pray Love, who are now out in 2.
This is a massive, massive upset. You heard it on the analyst desk before the match started. You saw it in the channel point prediction ratio here in Stream Chat. Everyone thought Yeet Pray Love, which is a rather elite small gang alliance, would take this well in hand against CAStabouts, who are a pretty solid but traditionally not terribly successful tournament team. But here we have CAStabouts out theory crafting the small gang alliance and absolutely breaking them with just a sheer weight of their hit point bar, just falling on top of them with an absolute unit amount of structure hit points.
Yeah, massive attack bar, massive defense bar, not able to really utilize that control, I would say, from Yeet Pray Love side. Last year, they placed top betas nanofiber tokens. This year, they're not able to do that. They're not even going to make it in a main tournament, which... a bit of a surprise. I think most people expected Yeet Pray Love to make it in, especially, channel point predictions before their match against Plug and Play. I think a lot of people expected them to make it in. So quite a bit of an upset, but quite a bit of a tournament disappointment for Yeet Pray Love. But we'll see them next year. We'll see how they go. Meanwhile, CAStabouts, well done to them. For those who don't know who CAStabouts is, they are basically a alliance built out of the Rookie Corp Center for Advanced Studies as a way to get new players into doing other things into the game. They're kind of the only corp like them in EVE Online, and something that we've seen a lot of from them in the past is we've seen them have tournament teams that haven't necessarily gone super well in feeders, but they've actually maintained a lot of their pilots from last year, which is a bit surprising considering how high turnover that corp typically is. So I like seeing this from them, and I wish them luck in their next match versus Hisec Miners.
That should be a very thrilling match. This match just wrapping up now. We've got about 50 to 45 seconds left. This Dominic's Navy is still hanging in there with about 10% structure remaining, as the Geddon Navy of Icer XX is now dipping into 1/3 armor, unlike the Galenti battleships. Amar not known for their structure tanking, as that it may have some local reps, but it's not going to be enough against the sheer amount of damage coming off the Hurricane Fleet, Dami Navy, and Mega Navy. Even if this Dami goes down, it is likely that Geddon may even drop before this match expires here, as we're coming close to time.
Yeah, he hit his rapid heavy reload, was able to take down the Dami Navy. Just a bit of a moral victory. But really nice hull tank bank from CAStabouts. This is the kind of theory crafting that you occasionally see in feeders, where you bring something a little bit weird, something you typically don't associate with the AT, and then you see sometimes it works because people aren't expecting it, or they might be underestimating your team, which I think might be the case in this particular match. So really well played to CAStabouts. The match is over. We're going to send it back to the desk, and when we return, we will have a new match with a new set of commentators.
Hey guys, welcome back to Alliance Tournament 16. I'm Elise Randolph, joined by Black Bar Pirate. We've got CAStabouts in red and Wormhole Poverty Law Foundation in blue. And your eyes do not deceive you, Wormhole Poverty Law Foundation took just 5 ships. That's all they felt they needed. Just a bunch of battleships and an Orthrus. What about the CAStabouts?
CAStabouts has brought what's probably a little bit more of a balanced team, bringing 2 battleships, several battle cruisers, and 2 logistics frigates with a bit of tackle and ECM. But it looks like everything's going already, and the Bargist of Wormhole Poverty Law Foundation is webbed down by the CAStabouts Hugin, and they are applying damage to it quite quickly already.
So this Mac from the Wormhole, from the blue team, is kiting away really fast. He's actually getting incredibly close towards the boundary, but everyone else from his side is essentially just staying still and getting zonked on by this CAStabouts team. It looks like Wormhole Poverty team is trying to kill this Blackbird, but the 2 frigate logis from the CAStabouts side are actually keeping it up just fine.
Oh, and the Wormhole Poverty Bargist is now grappled down by it looks like the Navy Megathron, so I don't think it has a lot of life left in this world. It's going down quite quickly, and that Macarial has decided to turn around and is now heading back in. So I think that their kiting tactic, they might have actually prevented themselves from getting screened, and they seem to be going down towards the Deacons, so I don't know. I mean, the Bargist is going to die right here, but they might actually be able to kill both of those Logi frigates since they were able to get completely past the entire CAStabouts team.
So the entire CAStabouts team, bar 1 or 2, have a full flight of armor rep bots. So unless these Wormhole Poverty Law Foundation people can get a smart bomb on one of their battleships and shoot it off, these frigates are probably going to rep for quite a while. We see them plinking away at this Blackbird. The Blackbird is getting low for the CAStabouts side. Appears to have no successful jams. Obviously, those little jam markers that you see are potential jams. And this Orthrus is actually going down super hard. It got tackled by a Navy Megathron, which you hate to see, and there it goes.
Yeah, and I think the Wormhole Poverty, they've decided actually to kite past, and now they are on the other side of the arena, and CAStabouts is having no damage applied to them, really, besides that Blackbird, who is being able to be held up quite fine just from the 2 Logi frigates. So Orthrus is dead, and now there is not really a whole lot of things that Wormhole Poverty Law can do to them.
Yeah, so CAStabouts are a kind of a funky group in the Alliance Tournament. They all play from the Center for Advanced Studies, an NPC corp in New Eden, and they essentially, this little group of players have played in Syndicate for as long as I've been playing Eve. And you know, they've actually, obviously they don't have the toughest opponent here right now, but they've actually been pretty impressive in the Alliance Tournament in the last 2 or 3 years. They've really stepped up their game. And this setup, it's the 3rd or 4th time we've seen a Hyperion in this match. What do you think about just seeing Hyperions in the Alliance Tournament again?
I feel that, you know, it's, as a battleship, it has a lot of self-rep abilities, so they can kind of survive for a decent amount of time, but they actually have a very large amount of potential damage and several mid slots that they can use for utility, so as well as utility high slots. So it's really, like, it's a really good jackknife. It can do a lot of things okay, which I think just because of the way our rules are set up this year, having versatility and flexibility is so much more important than it ever has been before. And it looks like that the Wormhole Poverty Law Foundations, they've kind of gotten on top of the Blackbird, and they're, okay, one of them just MJD'd out.
Oh,
and
yeah,
Nightmare
the Nightmare
MJD'd
that
away.
was tackled by this Navy Mega actually MJD'd out, so he's got a local MJD. He wasn't sitting on a beacon, so now he's 100 kilometers away. These CAStabouts teams, they're very close ranged, even though this Nightmare is still taking a little bit of damage.
Yeah, he just saved himself, though. He MJD'd out at 20% armor. I mean, they don't have, Wormhole Poverty doesn't have any ability to rep, so the Nightmare just, you know, he bought himself quite a bit of time. There's very little damage going on to him now, and they're going to have to, as you can see, CAStabouts, like, somehow they weren't able to hold him down, and now they're having to burn all the way over towards that Typhoon Fleet issue of Salamari. So for a little bit, Wormhole Poverty has been able to keep some DPS off themselves, but they really need to start applying some to CAStabouts if they want to turn this around in any way.
Yeah, you can see very low applied damage from the CAStabouts side. That's because they're all blaster fit, so they're all very close range fit. The linchpin right now is this Hugin, flown by Red House. He's the one that has to tackle these targets and keep them pinned down long enough for the rest of his team to catch up. It's been actually pretty slow going, a little bit sloppy from this CAStabouts side, and we'll see if this Fleet Typhoon flown by Salamari is going to MJD himself to safety.
Yeah, I'm actually wondering they might. The Nightmare might have been able to self MJD. He was pretty close to a beacon, but I think regardless, I don't know if this Fleet Typhoon's getting away here. He's pretty well held down.
He does have the IGC skins, or at least he's looking really good while being held down. And I'm not seeing an MJD effect right now, and he's entering structure, so he's a goner. Technical term, goner. He's down.
Technically dead.
Wormhole Poverty Law Foundation just with a Mac and a Nightmare, both of whom are webbed by this Hugin, keeping them nice and slow for the rest of the CAStabouts team to charge in and get some tackle here.
And they are doing that. They're actually burning straight towards that Nightmare right now. You can see all the damage drones are heading out. They're all moving straight towards them. And actually, the Macarial just MJD'd away. Sorry,
there we go,
Macarial,
yeah.
but he's free again too. So I'm wondering if the only reason that Fleet Typhoon didn't MJD is because he was actually facing towards the edge of glory and he was trying to not kill himself. So.
All right, so this Nightmare, which had MJD'd to safety earlier in the match, has completely regened his shield. He's got a little bit of a shield rep going on, but he managed to motor all the way back in towards the center of the arena. He after burned 100 kilometers to get back in, probably regretting that decision right now, as he finds himself the target of the entire CAStabouts squad, and he is unable to apply that much of his damage. CAStabouts have this massive defense bar that's passive EHP, so it's not really active, but you can see how huge it is compared to what Wormhole Poverty Law Foundation has. Foregone conclusion pretty much as this Nightmare. He's not going to get another MJD off, though it looks like he might be trying.
Yeah, I really don't think he's got a chance. No, they're done. And the Macarial is just happily kiting around the arena and doesn't have a care in the world right now.
Yeah, I'm watching this Navy Mega that's just like kind of zooming by, overshooting his target. He's a full 15 kilometers away from the Nightmare. He just flew right past him. A little bit of execution misplays, but it's not mattering for the CAStabouts. They're going to get a clean sweep, though perhaps if they faced a full team and not just half a team, they might have been a little bit more hard-pressed.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Macarial, and I think that not only is he orbiting the beacon at 70, I think he's also not shooting at all. Okay, he just started firing again as he got close. It looks like he's autocannon fit, so for the range and the speed that he's kiting, I don't think he's going to be doing very much from the range that he was at.
He might be able to try MJDing again, though he's pointing the wrong direction. If he MJDs at this angle, I'm pretty sure he's out of the arena, but he may set a new land speed record for going out of the arena. He is trying his hardest right now. He's at 106 kilometers. The Hugin has webbed him, trying to stop him from going out of the arena, but he's not webbing him enough. This Mac is definitely going to hit the edge of the arena. He says
he's turning. He might be trying to bait them.
Oh, this is the play right here. You sit at the edge and you wait for the other blaster team to kind of rush in. We already saw the Navy Mega from the CAStabouts side overshot his first target. So now, this guy Red Hand in the Mac, he's noticed that too. He says, you know what, I'm going to force them all to overshoot me and boundary violate, and I'm going to win this for my team. So props to him, sitting at 112 from the arena.
Demos is burning in very fast, and he hasn't started slowing down just yet. So, okay, Demos is playing it very, very safely. And it looks like he's cutting his speed a little bit, just to make sure that he does not boundary violate.
That's no fun.
Oh, maybe not.
All right, he's got a pretty tight over. The Demos is at 112. It looks like the Mac pulled in just a little bit from the edge of the arena, so unfortunately he's not going to be going anywhere. Let's see if he tries to initiate an MJD, just to just stunt on the CAStabouts team, because his team lost. There he goes. He initiated an MJD. I think no, he's pointing correctly. He's gonna live.
Yeah, he's gonna barely live here.
Yeah, so he's gonna just stunt on these people and show what the potential that his team had, right? The potential is just to kite around, and it actually would have worked had it not been kind of garbage.
Well,
no offense to the Wormhole Poverty Law Foundation team.
Even then, I mean, having a Hugin too, like the ability to kite away from long-range webs like that is just really, really tough. So They did pilot individually very well, but I don't think they piloted very well together as a team.
Yeah, so this Mac is kind of showing that he's a little bit better, and also showing the flaw of this CAStabouts team. They don't have a single, as far as I can tell, Warp Scrambler. The Warp Scrambler is what prevents the MJD beacons, and what prevents the MJD local effects as well. So this isn't going to be a clean sweep for the CAStabouts, but they're going to be quite happy. I believe they were the underdog coming into this match. Most people had picked the Wormhole Poverty Law Foundation group. Not sure exactly why. This is, I believe, their first year in the tournament, and CAStabouts have been doing this for quite some time.
Yeah, CAStabouts definitely has a tournament pedigree. It's maybe not necessarily one of the stellar ones that we always talk about, but it looks like they're going to be moving on in the tournament, winning 77-0.
All right, and with that, the match is over. CAStabouts win this one, and we're going to send it back to Ithaca and the boys in the studio. All right, guys, welcome back to the penultimate match of Alliance Tournament 16, Day 2. I'm Elise Randolph, joined by Rain Chocolate, and we've got a battle for the hearts and minds of Syndicate right now. It's Rapid Withdrawal, Pen is out in red, and CAStabouts in blue. Pen is out has taken a Navy Scorpion, Shield Leshak, Praxis, Basilisk Core, with some Stork, Jackdaw, Harpy, Caracal, and 2 Bombers for support. What have the CAStabouts taken, Rain?
So CAStabouts actually warped all in at 50. They brought the Barghast Navy Scorpion, so a lot of that heavy missile fire. Basilisk for logistics support. Cerberus also, I would say, probably light missiles. And then a Helo with drone support and a Bellicose, which is actually an E-War ship. And then a Purifier Hound Manticore, and I want to say probably one more bomber just for that Torp DPS.
Yeah, the CAStabouts have, they're going for that Templess type run with the 4 bombers. I'd be interested to see if they're going to do a bomb run. They're actually really well set up for it at the way the team's warped in. But yeah, I was mentioning the Rapid Withdrawal team. We can see that they banned the Thalia, which is a great way to get rid of the Frigate Logi for armor. You just have to ban its pair. But they have a Shield Leshak. The Leshak has 4 mid slots, okay? So this is going to be a pretty contested ship. I'd imagine the CAStabouts, with so much damage that they can apply to a battleship hull, will be focusing on this Lesh, so it might die really, really quickly here.
And yeah, and so CAStabouts warping in that range. I believe, I want to say that Barghast and that Scorpion, Navy Scorpion, can hit from pretty far away, almost anywhere in the arena. So they should be able to apply pretty effectively. I don't think we'll see them go rushing in by any means. But it looks like...
So the CAStabouts team, as you mentioned, can kite. Both of these teams don't have to go up in your face to apply their damage. But it looks like the CAStabouts side is shooting this Praxis while their support wing is shooting these bombers.
Yeah, so this Praxis taking lots of heavy fire. You can see these Basilisk Scraps landing on him, but obviously it is not enough as he's dropping into armor, gaining some shield, now he's dropping into hull, still trying to gain some shield. They are just rapidly applying to him, especially with that target painter.
All right, so you see this purple bar for the defense. That represents active reps. That shows that these ships have a large ancillary booster on their ship, and they're probably going to cap chain as well.
On.
Oh no. My god, the Praxis was trying to hold on. That's like they cap chain between one another, throwing that ancillary shield booster as soon as they run out of charges. But, you know, this CAStabouts team with these bombers, these 4 bombers have doing way too much damage. The Rapid Withdrawal team need to get rid of them. They can't touch them.
Yeah, so the bombers actually dish out, what have we been saying, like 500 DPS, and then they're very squishy because obviously they're frigates, they don't get a lot of tank, so being able to eliminate them actually eliminates a lot of DPS, and I want to say Torps apply perfectly to battleships compared to, say, something like the Basilisk or the Stork for the Pen is out team. Not quite sure.
With this painter, you can use the Rage Torps on these bombers and do about 800, close to 800 racial damage onto battleship hulls. So this CAStabouts team is just playing perfectly. They've got this bomber DPS, and it's just obliterating this Navy Scorpion. Oddly enough, the Navy Scorpion, one of the tankiest battleships in the game in the shield comps, but they're ignoring this 4 mid-slot Shield Leshak. Please, CAStabouts, don't do this to me. I was talking about how squishy this ship was, and you hit the 2 tankier ones. Meanwhile, the Pen is outside are hitting this Bellicose. Doesn't matter if this Bellicose really goes down. Not too much damage or too much utility from this Bellicose. It only really applies painters, so who cares?
I mean, the painters are actually really helpful for the Barghast and Navy Scorpion, and maybe even the Serb to apply to some of those smaller ships, but right now, the Bellicose is just really, I want to say, helping apply painters to battleships, which should not be difficult to hit at all for the CAStabouts team. Navy Scorpion is barely holding on. You can see his shield bounce up and down as he's dropping into low armor. Now into hull.
I might be having a stroke, but I think I saw an MJD being attempted to be activated. It could just be some smart bombs that are making me get deceived. But nope, those are just missiles plowing into this Navy Scorpion, and he's going to go down. His active rep can't keep him up, and especially with his Praxis going down, there's no way they're going to be able to, keep this cap chain going on. This CAStabouts team is just obliterating, shooting through everything with disgusting amounts of DPS.
Yeah, so the Basilisk on the CAStabouts side actually keeping that Bellicose alive, now applying to the Gila. Maybe the Purifier is taking damage, but he is not applying to the Purifier. I'm actually surprised the Penna's Out team is not using, I want to say, some of those smaller ships. So the Caracal, the Jackdaw, to, I want to say, easily eliminate these bombers. I'm not sure if they're just afraid to go in or what's going on there, but I figure like a Caracal could easily take out a lot of these with some of the support. We see, actually, so I say that, and the Purifier is actually dying. So the Purifier finally down for CAStabouts. Penna's Out has scored, but their Leshak is now dying, Elise. Now you can finally watch that 4 mid-slot Leshak hit the dirt.
I mean, the Lich is tanking pretty decently, all things considered. But yeah, so, the Penna's Out team, they managed to adapt to the match as it's going. Maybe a little bit slow, but props to them for actually adapting to it. They've got one Purifier down. Their support wing is about to take out another Hound. So that's half of the damage is going to be gone pretty soon. But unfortunately, they've traded their 2 tankiest battleships for this. So, the CAStabouts, they're probably okay making this trade, because now the bombers don't do all that much now that all 3 battleship hulls are dead for the opponent. So, yeah, good trade. You're trading, 60 points for 6? That's not bad. Not bad. Good job, CAStabouts.
Yeah, so the Gila is now down, or I guess the Gila is now down for CAStabouts. I'm going to say they probably had entered the reload, which is why it looked like the Leshak was living so long. Those rapid heavies, or just missiles in general, end up taking forever to reload, so you really have to work together with your team and coordinate when you're actually going to primary someone. It looks like now Penna's Out is primarying the Hound or CAStabouts. I'm not quite sure who they're going to be primarying. Maybe the Caracal, looks like.
Yeah, right now the CAStabouts side are sitting kind of pretty over here. They've got a Barghest Navy Scorpion Basilisk core, which can cap chain if it comes to that, and they can kind of turtle tank a little bit. But right now, I think they don't mind too much. You're right. I think they're going to take out this Caracal, and I say that as this Caracal's taking damage, so I totally cheated. But yeah, the Caracal, ideal choice to take out here. It's annoying with the rapid lights. It can really affect your, Hounds and Manticores and stuff like that. And it's easier to kill than this Jackdaw Harpy, which can become very tanky. And this Manticore Nemesis on the Penna's outside, these pilots are actually positioned really well, so it's hard for the CAStabouts guys to get to them without moving around so much. Their Serb is actually going to be the one that's going to be moving around the battlefield, trying to get in range of this Nemesis and this Manticore. It looks like the Nemesis will be the one that they're going for.
Yeah, so I'm watching actually the Penna's Out team. It looks like the Harpy and the Jackdaw are actually sitting on the CAStabouts support wing. So it looks like at one point they were tackling a bunch of folks. So I want to say those bombers in particular. But now it doesn't seem like they're really doing too much. CAStabouts doesn't seem concerned at all with them either. They have not been focusing that Harpy or that Jackdaw.
Yeah, that Harpy and Jackdaw are kind of really annoying to take down, but they do a lot of damage to a support wing. I would have loved to see them go after the bombers a little bit earlier, but props to the CAStabouts side that positioned themselves really well, and these bombers did their job. When we look at the damage mails on this Navy Scorpion, Leshak, and Praxis for the rapid withdrawal team, we will see these bombers as number 1, 2, 3, and 4 in terms of damage done. As the rapid withdrawal teams lose that Nemesis now that this Serb has been eyeing the entire match.
Yeah, so now I want to say it's cleanup for CAStabouts. The Penna's Out team attack bar is very low. I don't think at all. I think even if they manage to kill the CAStabouts Basilisk, I don't see the Barghest or the Navy Scorpion dying at all within the remaining 3 minutes of this match. It seems like CAStabouts primarying those battleships and getting them off the field right away was a very solid choice for their target calling.
Yeah, I mean, the CAStabouts side played this perfectly. We saw, they're very similar teams. The rapid withdrawal team opted to forego some of that bomber DPS and put it more into support with this Stork, Jackdaw, and Harpy. But that support wing didn't accomplish all that much, just by virtue of the positioning of the CAStabouts and the piloting that they went through. And man, this CAStabouts side really did a very nice job. I'm very impressed the desk was talking about how these guys aren't actually an alliance. They're the Center for Advanced Studies, an NPC corp in New Eden. But these guys have flown together in Syndicate for as long as I've been playing EVE, which is a very long time. And you know, the Rapid Withdrawal team, they live in the content ring as well, so they see each other on Tranquility quite a bit. They're familiar with one another. And this Rapid Withdrawal team, they've lost their Basilisk. I didn't even mention it, but it's just getting zonked through. I mean, there's nothing left that this Rapid Withdrawal team can do. They got a Purifier, they got a Gila. Everyone hates Gilas anyway, so they're going to take a little bit of a pat on the back for that one. But they are going to go down to the elimination bracket, while CAStabouts are going to continue on. They're going to be in the upper bracket. We'll see them next week. They play the winner of this next match, which is a Panda Part versus Fraternity. So we're talking about the Center for Advanced Sciences can get to top 16, maybe even top 8 before dropping a match. Like these guys are like should not be laughed at or taken as a laughing stock at all. These guys are serious, and they've taken 2 really good teams back to back, and I'm floored. I'm really happy with how this CAStabouts team is doing. I thought for sure the Rapid Withdrawal team would be doing a little bit better here.
Yeah, so mad props to CAStabouts, and I'm not sure if the camera caught this, but someone is shooting fireworks. I'm not quite sure. I feel like every match we've seen somebody shooting fireworks on the field. I think it's all these utility highs and players really fitting their ships to the max, because I think fireworks maybe cost like 1 power grid to put on a ship or something along those lines. So it seems players have been effectively fitting their ships to the point where they have extra utility highs, so then they can kind of have fun with it. And that's always what we want to see in the Alliance tournament. It's players having fun as they brawl.
This Rapid Withdrawal Harpy is MWDing straight towards the arena edge, while the CAStabouts side is, trying to kill him, but also looting the field a little bit. Both sides are shooting fireworks, so shout out to that. The Rapid Withdrawal team is by no means eliminated. However, they will be going down to the elimination bracket where they play Wholesale Operations, but that'll be next week. So they still got the tournament ahead of them. They are not eliminated. No one in this in our matches today got eliminated from the tournament, as this is a dual elimination format. And boo-hoo, this Harpy turned right at the edge of the arena. He got to 120 kilometers ish and then just stopped.
Yeah, he is just trying to outrun all those missiles, not try to make an application into Pandemic Legion. But as the time runs out, CAStabouts take this home with that Stork and the Harpy living. And with that, we'll send it back to Ithaca in the studio.
Off the desk and into the booth, you have myself, Lazarus Teller, even joined by Elise Randolph for the final match of the day, Week 2, Alliance Tournament 16. We have CAStabouts versus A Band Apart. CAStabouts in the red, bringing the Vindicator, Leshak, Navy Brutix, Deimos, Rook, Pontifex, Retribution, Vexer, Thalia, Deacon, and they're all at 0. This is going to be amazing. What does A Band Apart have, Mr. Elise?
Not to be outdone, A Band Apart have taken a Balgorn, Vindicator, Leshak, also all at 0. As well as a Gnosis, Pontifex, Arbitrator, Vexer, Thalia, Deacon, Sunesis. So we've got logistics frigates and some of the hardest hitting battleships in the game, both sitting at 0. I'm half expecting someone to yell World Star in the background here. There's going to be so much fighting, so much damage early on.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to really have to look here because they both have the CAStabouts has the 2 battleships, but the difference is, one, you have the Balgorn Vindicator on one side, so would you have the control, but the Vindicator, Leshak, Navy Brutix, Deimos are going to be pumping out so much DPS.
Yeah, so the CAStabouts have a Rook sitting 20 kilometers away from the action. A little bit close. That's utterly terrifying. This A Band Apart's Balgorn is going to be able to get newts and webs on it basically perfectly straight off. And so I think this Rook is not going to be able to do absolutely anything all match. But on the same side, this A Band Apart Arbitrator, it's got the tracking disruption. But what are you going to do? The Vindicator's already sitting on every aspect of your team that you care about right now. So both ECM and E-War Wings are going to be basically nullified. So it's just all damage all the time. These Logi frigates, I think they should just both say, you know what, we're not going to rep anything. Let's just see what happens.
Well, I mean, with the logi frigates, you see in a lot of these setups, they rely on rep drones to kind of keep them alive. But you have a freaking Leshak sitting in the middle of the arena on top of all your other ships, so you're going to have smart bombs going all over the place. So both sides are going to be losing rep drones. I think this is just going to be a bloody fist fight. Like, that's all we're going to see at the start of this match as time runs out.
Yeah, let's see who goes for what. I think the Leshak you have to kill first on both sides. You see CAStabouts trying to jam that Leshak early on, and they go for this Vindicator. That initial volley from the CAStabouts side just takes the shields straight off.
Didn't need any shield there. No. The Vindicator is... Go ahead.
It looks like CAStabouts have now swapped over. They put some webs on this Leshak. They're firing... You know, they're getting tracking disrupted. They actually have to pull a little bit of range because they are a little bit too close to one another. But CAStabouts, the boys from Syndicate going for this Vindicator, while the support wing is trying to take out this Deacon.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised at how little damage is coming out across to the Vindicator with them being on top of each other. We are seeing some damage drones on the field, a lot of medium armor bots on the Vindicator for CAStabouts. So, I mean, they need to get in there, use smart bombs, clear those rep drones if they want to actually put any damage onto the field.
Yeah, so the Vindicator for Bandit Part is melting really hard right now. It's in half armor. This Deacon and Thalia are trying to keep it repped up. CAStabouts have done the right move here with their support wing. They've got a Newt and a Web onto one of the Deacons, trying to kind of marginalize one of the rep frigates to force a Bandit Part into deciding, do they want to keep their Deacon alive with the Thalia, or do they want to keep the Vindicator alive? They're not going to be able to get full reps off as this Vindicator slips lower and lower as the Leshak from CAStabout keeps ramping up its damage. Alright, the Vindicator just actually MJD'd in structure. He survived. CAStabouts just spent 2 minutes of the opening match firing onto a ship that they now can't catch. What a show. Oh my goodness. And now CAStabouts have to go onto this Leshak.
Well, that is a huge amount of DPS that just jumped away from the fight. So that Vindicator is going to have to burn to the MJD beacon, try to get back into the fight, give the time for the Deacon and Thalia to get out to it and repair it. I mean... that gives this Vindicator, Leshak, Navy Brutus, and Deimos free reign to start taking down the Leshak as you see Tackle swap over to it. I mean, it's awesome that they saved it, but it's not any use to them outside of that range right now.
I mean, now the CAStabouts Leshak has to ramp back up onto the Abandoned Part Leshak. Luckily, CAStabouts still have a scram on one of their ships at least. I believe it's this Retribution that is scrambling the Leshak. Fool me once, shame on you, they say. Fool me twice, you ain't gonna fool me again. This Leshak is... Oh my god, he's actually not scrammed anymore. He could potentially MJD. Maybe CAStabouts are just holding it and just saying, yeah, we'll get it when you start MJDing. And there it goes. There goes the scram. Cycled back on. This Leshak from Band Apart is taking a lot of damage. CAStabouts not taking much damage at all.
Yeah, you see they're all easily holding in shield HP. Like you see, all of them do have a sliver of shield left as the regen's coming in. The only damage that's probably coming in is from smart bombs or any sort of AoE effect there. The Leshak is in half armor. The Thalia and Deacon they don't have enough reps to survive Vindicator, Leshak, Navy Brutus, Deimos. That's just so much DPS on the field, and it applies so well to these lockdown targets. The Leshak is holding in half armor, so it'll be interesting to see if he's running an ancillary rep, and once that pace runs out, if he's just going to die.
Yeah, so Tassin Thorn is coming back. You know, here's one of the things. He MJD'd out. The CAStabouts kind of forgot about him. They didn't put any screen on him, and here he goes. He's run right on top of the Rook for the CAStabouts side. Rook does not want a Vindicator sitting on his face by any means. As this match goes longer, the Balgor Newts are going to start wearing down on this CAStabouts side, and that's what we've seen. This Rook has been kind of stationary because all of the Balgorn webs have been placed on him, and he's been new to dry. You see, he can't even run his jammers anymore, so this Rook is going to explode. A Band Apart is going to take the first blood. Thanks to that MJD trick that saved it. However, no, they don't take first blood. They lose their Leshak. Oh my god,
Leshak was
down for
fully ramped up as well, and you're starting to see the Rook immediately pull back armor. That full ramped or disintegrator just so much DPS, and you can see that the reps just coming back. There's so many rep drones on the field still. It's wow, that's such a big kill to get before that Rook went down.
All right, CAStabouts, they see Task and Thorns, Vindicator, and they say, you know what? Let's do Vindicator, 1v1 right here. The CAStabouts Vindicator is now sitting on top of the Abandoned Parts Vindicator, trying to finish him off while the support wing from CAStabouts is just getting this Arbitrator off the field. It's going to help their Leshak as the tournament goes, or as the match goes longer and longer.
Yeah, you see the jams constantly being applied to the Balgorn. There's actually only jams on the field currently coming from the Rook looks to be going to the Balgorn, as you can see on the effects on your screens. So, I mean, they're doing as much as possible to keep those newts off the field from that Balgorn.
Yep, the boys from the Syndicate CAStabouts, they're doing it. Vindicator down, Leshak down, Abandoned Part have nothing left. They've got a Balgorn, which is mostly just control. Their Arbitrator is like dying slowly. Their Sunesis is dying slowly. This CAStabouts support wing is just massacring the backlines. They've taken the main DPS damage dealers down. Oh my goodness, CAStabouts are just running over Rick's Javix and the boys.
Yeah, this is quite a showing coming from CAStabouts, a team or an alliance that was formed from the Galente rookie channel. So I mean that's like you have that pedigree coming into this alliance tournament, and they're just dominating Abandoned Part, which was before this match thought to be a top tier team, or at least like top 10 team.
Yeah, they're a team that have put in a lot of practice in the Alliance tournament over the past few years, and they're very strong. Unfortunately, they haven't come across the strongest opponents the last 2 years, so it's really hard to get that practice in. But the same is true for CAStabouts. CAStabouts is a team that people thought were a joke 4 years ago, and here they are in the winners bracket. They've gone further. They've gone higher and better than Pandemic Legion right now with this win. So props to CAStabouts. I can't believe their Rook lived. That Rook has been, super crucial. Abandoned Part tried to neutralize it with the Balgorn and tried to get that Vindicator on top of it. But you know what, CAStabouts don't care.
Yeah, I mean, you see the 3 battleship comp beating the 2 battleship comp, which I think before now the three battleships have won almost every single match that they faced a 2 battleship counterpart. So that's huge, just shifting the meta there. And I think the Rook compared to the Arbitrator definitely was a big difference there, because who cares about tracking disruption whenever you're at 0 with 90% webs on you?
Yeah, so this Balgorn isn't entirely newt fit. We've seen a lot of teams fall into that trap before. The Balgorn actually does have some guns fit, so that's actually pretty good. It still had a bit of damage there. And you know what? You probably feel really good. You've got a Vindicator and Leshak on their core at 0. But CAStabouts had the exact same thing. But they added a Navy Brutix, which got untouched, a Demos, which got untouched, a Vexor, which was able to throw its drones out and then kite away and then go after the support wing. And then this Rook that just lived forever, probably got 1 or 2 jam cycles off, which is just enough. You're talking 20, 30 seconds of reprieve from the CAStabouts side. And oh my god, what a great showing from them. I really like the Abandoned Part move. They MJD'd their Vindicator away to safety, but you were absolutely right, Laz. It took him forever, it felt like, to get back in the battle.
Yeah, I mean, he saved himself, yes, but he just came back in, didn't really do anything, and just died as soon as he came back in. So it's like, yeah, it stopped the ramp up of the Leshak, but they just swapped to the Abandoned Part Leshak and took it down instead. I mean, they had so much DPS.
Yeah, you feel like if you were the Abandoned Part side and you say, okay, so their Leshak has to reset the ramp up, my Leshak has been ramping up this entire time, you feel pretty good, but then you die. So that's a pretty grim happenstance right there. Now CAStabouts just cleaning up what remains. They probably got a little bit of hand shaking right now. Can't believe the amazing piloting that they've done right here. I am really impressed by this CAStabouts side. This is one of the coolest matches we've seen all day, and we saved the best for last.
Yeah, this definitely was a good match to close out the day on. And I mean, with the Abandoned Part going to be going down in this match, they're going to be going to the losers bracket, which means the losers bracket next week is going to be crazy. I mean, you have Pandemic Legion, you have Abandoned Part, you have Initiative. I mean, the actual, well, actually, you saw Templars as well, already in the losers bracket. I mean, is this going to be a cut for losers bracket this year?
Yeah, I mean, you can only go Super Saiyan if you go down to the losers bracket, which is why PL went there early on. They just you gotta get strong. You gotta go down and train. But CAStabouts, Rick's Javix Balgorn finally drops down. Abandoned Part losing what remains of their ships. This Arbitrator didn't really have that much of an impact. Abandoned Part gambled that they were coming up against turret ships, and they gambled correctly. Unfortunately, CAStabouts said, we're at 0. Who cares? You're at 0 too. This Arbitrator did absolutely nothing. So
But
fully
no.
for Abandoned Port, they did not expect this coming in, but really fantastic showing from CAStabouts. Oh my.
Yeah, only one arbitrator left on the field for Abandoned Port. 28 seconds left on the clock. They're going to quickly clean up the arbitrator, and once that's done, then Abandoned Port will be locked into their fate of the losers bracket, and that'll be the end of week 2 of the Alliance tournament.
Yep, that's it. Oh my goodness. What a fun match to end it with. For Lazarus Telraven, I am Elise Randolph, sending it back to the studio one last time. We will see you guys next week. Once again, CAStabouts takes this 94-0. The last arbitrator gets to live to tell the tale of the massacre.